Right, what we're going to do today is show how to solder the small part on the RBTV mod or the Portsdown transmitter, such as this one. There we are. These little parts here. There's the modulator there, and the other ones are over here. There's one there. There's one there. You can just see it. Fairly close spaced, and it's been putting a few people off. So I'm just going to show me doing one. You may have a blue board, a special limited edition. If you're an extremely privileged customer, you may have a blue one. They're the same. I shall be soldering the blue one because the green one is already fully populated. This one I was halfway through, and then someone thought it was a good idea to make a video. So, so fortunately I hadn't fitted the little bits, so they're going to come now. So we're going to have a look at soldering those in and see what happens if it doesn't go completely right, but more of that later. Here we go then, let's have a look. Okay, so we're going to now try and fit this part here, UO7. It's possibly the most closest spaced part on the board. So firstly we observe that there's a little dot there, on all of them actually, denoting pin 1, and if we bring the part in, we'll see there is a little indentation just there. You'll see it when with the when you get to do it. So the object of the exercise is to line this up, paying attention to the distance between here and here, so that it's not over here or over here, exaggerated obviously. So you want to get it in the middle and line it all up, and then tack it in. But firstly we'll put a bit of flux on there. Just seems to help. So a little bit of flux on there, and we'll then line this up. I'm trying to do this through the camera, so it's pretty tricky. I'll just get a bit of solder ready. So there we are. So there we are. I'll just get myself lined up. That's it. What we're going to do now is just tack one piece just there, and then we'll have a closer look then. Okay, so we've got just that one leg taped in. We'll go in and have a look with our little magnifying glass, and it's not really helping through the camera, but we can see that that's okay. Once we've got one leg down, then we'll go in and just do another one. There we are. So now you've got two soldered, it'll be a lot easier. It won't move about now. So I really want to just turn this around, so I can't actually get at it. That's the problem. But anyway, we'll do another couple. We'll just there we are. Let's do that. So that's those done. And again the other side. We'll try and right. So they're done really. So just to finish off there, a little bit more flux. There we are, a little bit of the old flux. And then just to get in there, you'll have to do 2 at a time. I'll just wipe the tip on a sponge. To do 2 at a time. Just in and back, in and back, in and back, in and back. And they'll be good to go. I can't actually reach the other side with the camera in the way. So that's all there is to that, really. Okay then, let's move on to this one. I've already done the same as I did before to save time, but it's got a couple of legs tacked down. So let's go in and let's see what, let's try and mess this one up to see, you know, what trouble we can get into here. So we'll go in and we'll put a bit too much soldering, and oh my goodness me, what's happening here? We've got all sorts of shorts and things. Oh no, we've shorted the whole lot out. So and now it's not, and now it's all shorted out now. So how can we get out of this this mess? We'll make it even worse. That's it. How can we get out of this mess? Well, it's fairly simple. We just come in with our bit of solder wick and we just touch the top and it's done. You can, of course, continue. If you've taken too much off, I left it on there, I put quite a lot on there. But you can, of course, just come in and you know, flux in between each time. And you can come in and just finish off in the normal way if you want to. I can't see what I'm doing here because I'm looking through the camera. Right, so even if you make a complete hash of it, it doesn't matter. Right, okay then, let's see what happens if we make a bigger error. So what we'll do, we'll put it on upside down and the wrong way around, and solder it all out completely wrong. There we are. So this is, I can't see anyone doing this. Right, so we've soldered the whole lot on. It's completely misaligned and a complete mess. So how are we going to get out of this? I can't I can't think of any worse way of doing it. So we can do this and get there we are. Get the worst of the solder off. Right. So how are we going to get that? Well, obviously we can't just heat up one side. You can, if you're really quick, heat up one side and go the other side, but I wouldn't recommend it with this many pins and this sensitive a part. So what we need to do is get hold of something called Chip Quick. There we are, which I've got some here. And what this is, I should have prepared it in advance. So what we'll do is we'll put a bit of the flux on there, not as much as that. You only need a fraction of that. I'll try and save some of that. And there we are. I've put too much on there, really. I have to wash that off. And then simply come in with your Chip Quick, do that again, both sides, and then you've got plenty of time. Look at that. Well, see, you think, oh, that's set now, isn't it? It's set. It's set. No, it hasn't. It's perfectly fine. You can just take it off. It lasts for quite a while, and then of course we'll need to clean this all off. Clean this off some more. Don't put too much heat on the pads. Just you know, let in between. There we are. That's it. Just clean it up nicely. That's it. Little bit there. That's it. Now that's good as new. A bit there I can see, just that reflection. See it on the camera. Right. Get that off, and then obviously the part we would normally move this somewhere else. Let's just do it here. Then obviously we've got to clean the part up. So it'll be the same sort of thing. Could just get in there with this and clean him up, same sort of thing. It's a bit tricky doing it on the edge here, really. That's it, clean his little legs up. I have to turn that around, I can't actually get to it. There we are. Same idea. That's it. Right, so he's now good as new. We'll bring him back into the field of view here. Have a look underneath. He's all right. So he's good to go again now. Now we can try and do it properly this time. What I like to do is give it a clean up with some IPA, so that that's it. It's good as new now, and the same with the part. I normally clean him up as well with my little pot of stuff. I usually just dunk him in there and then clean him off with a bit of the old tissue or something, taking full anti-static precautions obviously. Right, so then we can proceed to stick him back on once he's not quite dry there really. Difficult to do it looking at this. So we'll get him lined up. Right, there we are. We're all lined up again. He's lined there. So we just come along a little bit on our iron there. I'm going to go for pin 1 again. Get him to stay there. Let it cool down for a second. See it's all right. Then examine. You can see in there. That looks all right. And then ideally just hold it still. And what I tend to do is have a little bit of the solder here and just pinch the end up a bit so it's lying nearby. It's out of camera shot there, but lying nearby. Make sure it doesn't move, and do another one, and that's it. When you're there now, stay there now. It's a good idea to examine it again at this point. Looks alright. And then ideally perhaps get a couple in that side, and I sort of do the edges there really. Then just come along, do the bit, and that's it. And we just got these middle ones to do. That's it. A bit more flux, and then I've done the same trick there myself, haven't I? Put a little short on. Can't actually see it looking through the. I'll have to look through the camera. Look through the camera. That's it. That's it. There we are. There he is, done. That isn't a short actually, it's just a reflection, but it looks like it, doesn't it? So that's another one. That's another one done. Right, I've took the camera off the tripod now. Let's see if I can't get in a bit nearer. Let's turn that light off actually. We can perhaps get in. I'll go in as near as I dare. We can have a. Hey, come on. There we are. Can't really get in there too much, but there he is after he's been cleaned up. That's as near as I can get, I think, before I lose the focus. So that's another one done. Right, well, we got one more left. There's still one more left in there to do. But before I do that, there we are. What we do is we normally position our solder sticking up like that, so it just sticks up here, so we can just get a bit on the end. So, but the way to hold these things is to rest your arm on the bench, or if you're over here somewhere you can do it on there, but just hold on the bench. If you try and maneuver these parts around with holding it like this with your arm up in the air, you'd never ever do it. You have to be hard on the bench or something solid, so that you can just move it with just moving your fingers. Your hand stays still, and you just move it with your fingers. Then you'll have a bit of control over it then. So that's a little tip really. Keep your hand down solid on the bench. Don't try and do this, because believe me, you can't keep still enough. You'll be all over the place. By the time you pick the iron up, it'll be over here. So just hold it on there. A final look before you tack the first one. It's much easier to get the first one right than it is to take it off and do it again. However, as we can see, that's the one that's was put in backwards and somewhat misaligned, and he's he's perfectly fine. Right, there we are. I normally recommend fitting all these bits first, and the modulator, which is the same thing. I've already done it on this board, I might do it on another board. But it's easier to get these on first than it is to work around, particularly say the modulator. It's the same thing with the modulator, identical, it's just that it's a little bit bigger. But trying to get in here, if some person has put an LED in first, is you're likely to melt it, same as if you've got sockets or anything else in, you'll end up melting anything plastic. But this particular board, I fitted the bits I had, I didn't have these other bits. But I have now, so so there we are. That's that really. Oh, I'll show the chip quick. This is the stuff I used. It comes as it looks like a piece of solder, but it's very low melting point, and there's a wipe there to wipe the board afterwards, which I do recommend doing. So so that's that, and then the flux is here it is over here. The flux is chip quick flux. I like to clean this off. It does say no clean. I always clean it off. I'm not. I had some issues on some capacitors once, and I blamed it. But anyway, that's so that's the chip quick, and then this stuff is my favourite brand. Other brands are available. I quite like the Loctite. It seems to suck up the stuff that much better. So that's that, and the flux pen, and then today I happen to have picked up this flux pen, no clean flux dispensing pen. There it is. Other brands are available. I think there's another one here. That's probably an eBay one really. There we are, that one. So lots to choose from there. And solder, I quite like to use this stuff, future stuff. Wall button. This comes, it's got a bit messy actually. It's 62S, 26SWG, future HF fast flow. That's the stuff I use. This one's been kicking around a bit. But there we are. And there's there was a part number somewhere for it. But this particular one came from Rapid Electronics. I haven't found anywhere else that sells it. I don't get a lot from Rapid, but that's pretty good, that stuff. So so there we are. So that's how to do those. I'll just do this this last one, and we're that's all those done really. The modulator is the same trick really. It's just that it's a little bit larger actually, strangely enough. So there we are. Even if you make a complete hash of it, as long as you don't leave the heat on for for a long time, and if you do find that you've just done one pin and you're holding the iron on one pin and you can't get it, then you must stop and let everything cool back down again, and calm yourself down, and then possibly take it off and clean it off and start again. And don't proceed to pin 2 until pin 1 is absolutely right. Otherwise you'll end up trying to push it around, and it's not as easy. It's easier to do it right, actual fact. So there we are. Right, one thing worthy of note, or a couple of things really, with the AD345, when you solder yours in, you will think you've got a short on those 2 pins. They are connected together, you would see it beforehand, but you may have missed that, and inevitably you will get a small bridge just at that point, but there's no point in trying to do anything about that, because they are actually joined together, so that's perfectly okay. And the other thing is that there is a pad underneath this device that optionally can be soldered down to ground. The board is done to do that. If you don't do it, it makes no difference at all. So you could leave it like this. That you can see there's places there. But if you do decide to solder it, you don't need to put too much on there. You can just put the iron on there and warm that up, and or just to one side, and feed a little bit of solder down there. It doesn't take much because it's pretty much flush to the thing anyway, and it will take it in a moment. If you do push too much down and leave the iron on for too long, you can melt all the other pins on the other side, and if you keep pushing solder down, it will push it off the board if you're not careful. I've not done it on one of these, but I have done it on a Digilight in the past. So so there we are. So this one's got the correct one in it, actually. So you can see I've had a bit of a go here with this one, actually, and there we are. So that's been soldered. You may be able to make out that the wires there are, some of them are closed off. So that's you just warm it up and stick a little bit down there, and that will solder it in next to no time. You'd be surprised. You think, oh, it's ground, it'll take forever to heat up. It won't. So just be aware of that. So that's it, really. I think this one's a bit more awkward because it's got the big heatsink on it. But yeah, you can see that one again. That the link is actually the little short is perhaps a little more obvious on that one. Actually, you might really just see it on the right hand side. So so there we are. That's just a couple of little notes about that, really. There we are. It sort of is that way round, but it's convenient for showing it to have it upside down. There we are. Right, once you've done all that bit of soldering, then a bit of clean with some IPA. I just normally tip a little bit in a pot and get me trusty brush and give it a bit of a clean there. Give it a good, there we are, a little bit of a. If I wash all the flux off, so a little bit of a thing there. You don't have to be too worried about it. I've done this hundreds of times. Clean it all up, all around the bits you've just done. It's often worthwhile doing this in between. If you get too much flux floating about and everything's got sticky and horrible, then a little bit of a clean there. That's it. And then let that dry off. You can do a little bit of a dab. Bear in mind anti-static precautions, etc. But there we are, a little bit of a dab, and there it is, all nice and clean. So we can see, we should look at the ones we've just done, really, shouldn't we? So we can have a look. There they are. So then they look all nice and factory done, really. That's it.